Happy Easter, happy Passover. I'm just hoping that I'll be happy tonight. Welcome to the Final Wager. I'm Keith Williams, and we got a three-time champ in Kerry. A strong 11,800, despite not having the benefit of the daily doubles like Brian and Eric did. They both took advantage of them, and they're in first and second. Brian and Eric separated by 4,000, Kerry and Eric separated by 3,000. At first, when I looked at these scores, I thought they were evenly spaced, which would be a wager tie situation, but they're not. I'm not the only one who made that mistake, I'm sure. But the math would bear that out either way. We start with second doubling up, 14.8 for Eric. It'll give him 29.6. So Brian will need to wager 10.8 to cover. If he's wrong with that wager, he'll be left with 8,000. So to stay above that, this is nice and easy because it's round. Eric can wager up to 6,800. And to stay above him, Kerry can wager up to 3,800. Alright, how about third place doubling up? Kerry would have a total of 23.6, which is, I might be wrong about this, but I feel like we see the number 23,600 show up a lot in these wagering situations. I don't know if it's just something mystical about 11,800, or just because 23.6 was the score that I had going into my last Final Jeopardy. I'll have to look that up, that's weird. But, that aside, Eric to cover that, it's going to be 8,800. At that rate, he'll lose to Brian if he misses, so he might as well go all in if he wants to go big and cover Carrick. And Brian, if Eric might have a smaller range in here somewhere, and Brian might just want to cover Kerry, so if he wants to do that, that's 4,800. Put it down here just because I don't like it as much. If Brian misses with that wager, I'll be left with 14,000, so Kerry would want to wager at least 2,200. Alright, that is the first order. So who's everyone cheering for tonight? The National Championship. Man, opening day too. Had a lot of sports ball played today. Important sports ball. Oof. Gotta be careful where I throw these things. I'll give you a little hint. I'm not using red for no reason. Second order. Start with this max 6,800. It's not a cover wager out of Eric, but it's feasible. If he gets it right with that wager, he's going to have 21,600. As Brian, I would not want to cover that because it's putting you at risk of losing to both Kerry and Eric with totally rational wagers. If Kerry is for some reason afraid that Eric's going to do this, she could wager to cover it. I wouldn't recommend it, but what is that going to be? 9,800. At that rate, she might as well go all in. It's going way down here. The other wager we want to look at is this 3,800 out of Kerry. If she wagers that and gets it right, she will have 15.6. So to cover that, that's going to be 800 out of Eric. And I wouldn't be too concerned for Brian either, because this is the bare minimum for him, so let's not worry about that. I think that is it for our second order. I'll be a little more careful when I throw that one. Of course, I hit something else. And finally, zero cover wagers. So, difference between Kerry and Eric is 3,000, so we'll make that our minimum here. 6,000, 7,000, anything bigger is going all in. Eric and Brian are separated by 4,000, so we'll put 4,000 here. 3,000 on the downside goes there. If Kerry goes for this 3,000 amount and is wrong, that's going to be 6,000 on the downside for Eric, so I'd cap his wager there at 6,000. And 8,000, the difference between these two, that's already done with. Brian, on the downside, that's going to be, here's 4,000, nope, here's 7,000, that works. Cap his wager there at 7,000. That's all I am going to suggest. So here are our ranges, and of course we get a New York City landmarks clue, and I had just been talking yesterday with someone who's writing a fact primer with me about the Empire State Building and how it's Art Deco-y, and I'd forgotten about that, and then of course that dominated all my thoughts tonight, and they couldn't come up with the Chrysler Building. Probably wouldn't have anyway, because that's a tricky clue, but it's one of those that, you hit yourself on the head after you hear the answer. Kerry, the only one who got this one, and she doubled up, which I don't really like that wager. You'll see that had she gone with the range I suggest, she would have won anyway, and had she missed, she would have lost, but she would have won with this range. So, 4-day champ out of Kerry. We'll see if she can match Vaughn, John, and Kristen tomorrow. She's come from behind twice in a row now. Can't do that forever. But she's a good player. We'll see you then on the final wager.